Men find a workaround for everything. You guys are so funny. Okay, go ahead.
You know it.
Do you think there's a
How to
right?
get,
Do you think there's a right and a wrong way to mourn? And what are your thoughts on the marketing campaign?
hey, how's it going, Pearl? I think people are mourning differently too. We're looking at things from a different perspective now. These people that have been on social media their whole life, um, you know, comparing Kirk's wife to Jackie Onassis is kind of a long stretch, but I think, these people seek attention, right? So we're in this dystopian time where we're looking at things and they're kind of unbelievable to see from a common sense point of view, or we're looking at people that a lot of people are feeling relating to, but the average person can't really relate to Charlie Kirk, so it's some delusion there, I think, for sure. The can't
No, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, and the campaign, just obviously it's very thought out, right? There's a woman grieving, and there's a person with the camera. It's very performative and calculated. I don't really know how to take it. Everybody does. It's cliche, but everybody does grieve differently, and when there's a spotlight around and cameras and followers, and I think people can't really be genuine, and someone that has lived in the shadows of a celebrity husband probably is very hard to relate to for the average person, I would imagine. So
Yeah.
probably why it feels so weird. So
Yeah.
um
I agree.
so
I agree. Thank you for calling in. Call in anytime, okay?
hey, yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
So next we got Hannibal. All right, Hannibal. You don't have to do all that. You could just turn the camera off.
Well, you said you wanted a camera on, so here we are.
Well, I do give preference, but it kind of defeats the purpose when you have a ski mask on.
There you go. So,
sorry. Men find a workaround for everything. You guys are so funny. Okay, go ahead.
You know it. So there's a psychological mechanism inside everybody that when we lose control over a situation, we try to do all that we can to regain control over a situation. So to some people that might be, in Charlie's case, right, he had this whole mission statement and everything. So to regain control over a situation of trying to figure out that, okay, he's gone, that would be continuing his mission. To someone else, that might just be going out and just hiking in the woods for 3 days because they're essentially doing the same thing. You're regaining control of the situation in that you're alone, he's gone type of thing.
And so
whatever it is, it's just, to a certain extent, it's just grasping at straws.
Okay, so you don't find it performative, but you think it's just the way that they're trying to regain control of the situation by continuing his mission, because they're losing control by losing the guy in charge.
Maybe not even regain control over the situation, but regain control over their perception of the situation.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point of view. Do you have anything else you want to add on it? I appreciate the differing point of view, so I think it's really good.
That's what I got.
All right, cool. I can't. The ski mask is cracking me up. I won't lie.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, thanks.
Hilarious.
He's like, I will get to the front of the line. Camera off. Although in this way I can't see, so I actually don't know, but on the Zoom. We had to go back to with the new set to Zoom. There will be times when we use StreamYards, but you guys have been much better this show. Like, it's been way better. Some
Guys, make
hiccup.
sure to like the.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just make sure to like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can be a member on the channel. The first tier is less than a cup of coffee. So hit that join button and come on over to the audacitynetwork.com to join Pearl's website. It's $10 a month and you get access to all of our old content. And if you're in the chat, if you put Pearl Read, she'll read all of your chats over there. So make sure to go over there. Steve M and myself are putting links in the chat. So go ahead and click. And also don't forget to donate to the divorce documentary. And all super chats go towards the divorce documentary as well. So hit that super chat button.
The other cool thing too is that I think next month we're actually gonna figure out something with the divorce documentary. So I think we're actually gonna pick an editor probably in the next month and a half maybe. Because we have got enough money to get started on the documentary, not to finish it, but at least to start, and then we'll go from there. And I was thinking if you guys are on the website, you could help direct it. So I was thinking once a week I could show you guys like what we're working on. And then it would be cool to get like a test group of people that can give us feedback on like what parts they were entertained or not. Or even if it's a YouTube link and there's drop time. We'd have to figure out a way to maintain the privacy, but if we have it screened somehow, because I can't have it leaked, I want the documentary to be free. I want it to be on YouTube. So if we get enough donations, then we can actually make that happen. So, all right, next we're going to do Jeff again. Let's see if he figured out. As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. All right, Jeff, I need you to turn off the YouTube in the background. And
Hi.
how's it going? So
Very good.
Today we're talking about, is there a right or wrong way to grieve? And what did you think of the marketing campaign after Charlie Kirk's death?
Yeah, so I have a background as a chaplain, and I'm a professional at helping people grieve. So
We have had the best calls today. I think these are the best calls I've ever had. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was like, what a perfect person to call in. Go ahead.
So in terms of wrong, it's pretty hard to achieve a wrong state, but I would say that the wrong state is where it comes into conflict with other people's ability to grieve as they see fit. So it's basically kind of like it's a uh gray barrier, I guess. So it really depends on the background of people you're dealing with. But in terms of like kind of like out there things, there in turn like if you look across the world and like how people grieve, there's all kinds of ways that that goes down, and a lot of it would be cringe to Western audiences. So there's still people that are like, like the Mayans, for example, will dig up their family's skulls and have meals with them once a year, things like that. In terms of what we saw with Charlie and the viewing of the body, the significance of viewing a body in a funeral is that it gives you the experience that their death is a reality. It takes people a while to really integrate the death of someone. And Charlie, of course, was a public figure. So this grieving process is a public process. So I do agree with it. I'm glad she didn't show his face. Um, I think the hands were okay.
So,
So
what do you
yeah.
have you ever seen anything in your line of work where you thought it maybe it wasn't okay, but you maybe thought it was too attention seeking or too like was there ever a time where you worked at a funeral and you just thought it kind of was like a little bit too far for you?
Um, well, I think the last funeral I was at was for a Christian friend, college friend, and one of the people got up and just used the moment to preach kind of fire and brimstone, get your life right, and get with God. And it was basically had questionable relation to anything about the deceased. So it was kind of like very much an ad post for Jesus. So yeah, I was a bit cringe
I,
on that,
I
but
have
I let it slide.
I have an uncle who would do that. Yeah, but yeah, it's the thing because it's such a sensitive time. No one's gonna say anything.
Yeah.
What what are the biggest differences you've seen uh in the way that men grieve and their spouse dying and the way that women grieve when their spouse is dying or has died? What's the biggest
Hmm.
difference?
Um, if and when men break, they break a lot harder than women do. Like women just kind of like they start a sob and it's kind of like a soft wave, and men it's like cataclysm when they gotta stop and like the whole world stops for them basically. So it's kind of I don't know. I'd say men are more dramatic sometimes when they're really truly emotionally grieving.
Okay.
Cool. Great.
Is it
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I did have one more thing. Uh, well, so what we all witnessed, essentially, I'm worried that what we had was a mass trauma event because people all witnessed what happened to Charlie. And my concern is that we're going to have a mass psychological uh, traumatic event or development of acute and long-term traumas for the people who witnessed that, both there and even just through media, because so many people interacted with his content, and you make some kind of a connection there. So when you have this visceral experience of someone dying, that's very easily gonna uh, create a significant amount of people who are going to have this trauma that's going to endure. And so, yeah, it's gonna be a real issue.
How
So,
how do you think that'll play out? Like, and so people have this trauma, but what will happen?
um, well, as we've already noticed, like people are more volatile right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're more likely to react or act out as a result of this.
Um.
Um,
Okay, so you're saying they'll be like they might do crazy things basically in
uh,
retaliation.
yeah, and for the people who experience what's called like acute trauma, they might to start to develop symptoms that become um, intrusive. Like basically, begin to limit your ability to function because you'll find yourself caught in a state of dissociation where you're basically like in a caught state of freezing.
Yeah.
And so that freezing, what happens like if, like say so PTSD takes like at least 6 months, like it takes between 3 to 6 months to develop in a permanent way.
Mm-hmm.
But in that first 3 months, it's it's more of acute, but what's happening is that there's kind of a feedback loop where like your reptilian brain is hyperactive, and so it's recognizing stress as trauma or stressors as like life-threatening
Mm-hmm.
or potentially life-threatening. So it's like a misreading or a mischaracterization of stressors as life-threatening issues. So that's what I mean. Like people are potentially going to be more volatile.
Wow, good point. Yeah, I never really thought of that. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, my pleasure. I don't mean to plug myself, but I will be
Go ahead.
making content for it to address the drama.
Okay, cool.
All
What's
right,
what's
thank
your
you.
channel?
It's Buddhist Priest.
Buddhist priest. All right, thank you. D. Williams, make sure the YouTube isn't playing in the background. So, what are your thoughts on the topic? Is there a right or wrong way to grieve, and what did you think of the marketing campaign? Hey, Corey.
Hello?
Hey, so
There
Can you
he
hear me?
is.
there he
There he
is.
is.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Hey,
All
we
right.
in there.
Yeah. So, what do you think of the topic? Is there a right and a wrong way to grieve, and what did you think of the marketing campaign?
Um, so the grieving situation is a little strange for me. I will say when I first seen that video and with her like kissing the hands, I thought that was strange. Now I have seen strange behavior at funerals before. I've seen my little sister, it was my mom who passed away, but she was like she showed up in a veil. She showed up in a veil to the funeral, and I just made it a lot more dramatic than any of her other children, which, I am one of. And so I have seen people have just kind of bizarre reactions that are not exactly like obviously my little sister didn't have a campaign going on for my mother. It was just this natural reaction she had to it, and it was bizarre to me. It actually frustrated me. So when I think about that, I do look at her situation and understand that like she is the most traumatized out of anyone. So maybe that's why it seems a little weird. But then there's also the dynamic that she is trying to help step into the role that he played in Turning Point.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if she is, if there is some political motivation there. Obviously, it's going to have some political effect. So it's awkward. It's hard. There's a lot of factors that apply to why anything's the way it is. So it's hard to put your finger on one reason why that was the way it was. I don't think that it, for the most part, was completely politically motivated. There's just so much trauma involved in what she's going through right now that I think that's the biggest factor that applies to why she's moving in any sort of way.
So you think she's really traumatized, so she's kind of doing this whole campaign as a way to cope.
Well, when you call it a campaign, is that like the words you're putting on it, or is that the words they're putting on it?
Well,
Like,
it's a market. I mean, when you send emails and texts for donations over a death, it's a marketing campaign.
okay.
Yeah, so I would just say it's a marketing campaign.
Well, have you seen the people who are trying to it's pretty deep conspiracy stuff, but I've seen people trying to paint maybe there's some sort of prophecy involved in this where apparently like a woman takes the reins on like what's the words for it? It's like she will lead the world out of these evil ways. Some people, I've heard people make the relation there that like she could be the woman of this, like, and I've never even heard of the prophecy or whatever this thing they were
Look, I
referring
mean,
to.
I just women in charge of things just always leads to destruction. So if she's in charge of it, which I don't know, it could just be like
Well, not
a
necessarily in charge, but like lead the way as far as the face of it because of the movement. Because you know
yeah,
somebody's looking at it from that dynamic. Probably
yeah,
not her at this moment, but they would love for her to ride this wave.
not.
And
I mean, she could be the public person, but running an organization I mean, that's difficult and pretty much impossible for women to do. Big organizations like that. I mean, usually if they do it, there's a man doing the work.
yeah,
She's
I
got,
mean, I'm not here
yeah.
to really draw that line in the
Mm,
sand. Because I don't really associate to like that,
mm.
a woman can't get the job done. I don't, yeah, I don't especially feel that way that a woman couldn't get the job done. I think as long as your heart's in the right place, that you can get the job done. Anybody can. And so if they are
I don't think most men can. I mean, that's a tough job. Do you know what I'm saying?
the oh, absolutely.
That's
I mean,
my point is she's not like qualified anyway. She's a mom, which is cool, but like that's very different from running like an organization with hundreds of people.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, the critical period is going to be the next 8 to 10 months. If she
Yeah.
steps out ahead of this and takes his place, you're going to find out in 8 to 10 months if
Like,
she's effective
I
or
don't know.
not.
I saw a lot of people criticizing that I think Ben Shapiro might take over. But I just thought he's probably one of the only few that are qualified that can do it.